welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott. And greetings, blessings, salutations, and love. Welcome back once again to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott, here to share a little bit of fun. It is Talcott Tuesday, as kind of the thumbnail and the post was about. The topic today is one I hope to be of value again. Once again, doing the stream, clicking live. First of all, my appreciations for all of you who have been dropping in, stopping by already, and my sincere gratitude to all of you who join in at a later time, even at a later date. Blessings and thank you. Please do share the like, share a little love. If not here, at least somewhere today. Share some love and light. That's my hope. My hope and goal today is to share a little bit of time, fellowship, encouragement, and inspiration. Try to bring a little more light into the world, because this world, man, there's a lot of darkness and despair, and that can cloud us from seeing the beauty, the joy. And what really helped me to discover the beauty and the joy of life around me, it was developing the peace I found within myself. And what really helped me find peace within myself, clarity of purpose, a clarity of purpose and a clarity of intentions. When I chose to, it wasn't just a choice, but my life transformed. Everything started shifting around me, and it allowed me a lot of time and opportunity to review and reflect, to detach from everything around, and to really contemplate. So as I was reflecting and reviewing me and the world that I know, I started gaining more clarity in a whole bunch of different things. Clarity in what different things meant, right? Regarding definitions of words, particularly. It's one thing to know of a word, know of a thing. It's something else to truly know it, to have a true meaning and a connection within you. So I had time and opportunity, and I spent a lot of time considering my relationship with different words, love, fear, all sorts of different things. Anyway, along the ways, what I realized I was doing is I was gaining clarity on my purpose, clarity on my intentions. In doing those things, my state of inner being it's like a switch was flipped. It's totally different than it used to be. And life, man, life is a beautiful, beautiful gift. Happy Tuesday. You are all loved and you matter, so bring them vibes up. Amen. And Talcott Express, praise be. Yes. Thank you. Blessings to all of you. The link is dropped and pinned for those who want to join. I don't have a lot prepared for today. The topic, though, the clarity of purpose and intention. I see it so many places. Now that I see it right here in your own life, once you learn something, once you gain a greater perspective, when you see things differently because of what you've learned, you can't unsee, right, what you've learned. An expanded mind does not go back, right? So you do want to keep expanding your mind. What I see now all around the world in many, many different ways. I see human beings like me living this life here on Earth, um, in the human form. A lot of people who don't know their purpose. They don't know why they exist. They don't know why the world is the way that it is. They don't have a clue, and it's clear. But this world doesn't allow people to admit when they don't know, because then they get ridiculed and made fun of. So you got all these people alive today who are going through the motions of life. Seriously, they'll do things, and you can ask them, why are you doing this? What is it? It's like, no, there's nothing there, no explanation, no clue. And it really makes you wonder, who's in charge of nobody's home, right? If you're knocking on the consciousness of someone, asking questions, and there's like no recognition, nobody's home, who's in charge of that being? If you guys have been paying attention, you guys, for those who have seen, maybe you know what I'm talking about. It happens here on these panels quite a bit. Um, Blessings to everybody, sincerely. Wisdom to wisdom, knowledge to knowledge. What was, and what it will be. So let it be so, right? Acceptance. That's one of the things I've learned. Acceptance. Well, we don't accept what there is. Oh, see, that's the human mind. The human mind processes and lives in confusion. Sorry, my mind took off there in a few different directions regarding how our lack of acceptance of what the world presents in the present, right? Because that's when life happens, in the now. We we go through life and we don't see what is happening in the now, because in our minds we've already come to conclusions. We've already assumed and predicted. Oh, I know what they're going to do. I know what they're going to say. I know it all. No, you don't. No, you don't. That's something I learned for sure of. Oh, good heavens. Blessings. Pixel T. Interesting stream yesterday. Possibility of speaking about it. There was a lot that transformed on the stream yesterday. We've been having some very interesting streams, interesting dialogues, and I understand there's been a lot of well, I understand the little chatter girls, the gossip girls, OTW and the crew. I understand that they were jumping to conclusions and offering narratives about me, apparently, because I opened up a panel and people showed up and they shared some of their stories. And apparently, since I said that the stories I heard were fascinating, lack of a better description, I was wrong. Now, I didn't see any of the guests up here promoting incest nor child violation. I didn't see anything of the sort. I saw I saw some characters who I've met here online, characters who I see as human beings. Yesterday we had some human beings on here, some people who were sharing, some of the craziness of their lives. I don't agree with what everybody does, but I'm sure not quick to judge. I sure try to stay open and accepting. What I heard, it sounded like, if we're talking regarding Grace and Ben, that part, they've had some interesting stuff in their past, and I don't know what it means. I don't believe there's, I don't see hate or resentment or real inappropriate things. So if that's what the question was about regarding that, or the fact that I got to first, you know, here's the part two. Toilet Bowl Earth, who doesn't frequent often, he shows up, and with him, he invited others. Coincidentally, the universe presented the Thorpes with TBE. And then we've got that knucklehead snafu who I've had restricted from here for a while, but, golly geez. There's Toilet Bowl here. Man, I trusted his words, his judgment. Well, I'm not going to blame. I made the choice. I allowed Snafu on, and he brought nasty energies. Right after that, Mr. Paul showed up to continue the dark, negative, combative energies. But then it calmed down a little bit after a while too, and we kind of I don't know. I wasn't upset with the stream yesterday. I don't know. By the topic of that bottle, I understand. It was inappropriate, but a young lady did something that she felt, it wasn't any lines crossed. And based on, as I understand their situation, they were dealing with already accusations. And so it was like, all right, play into your nonsense. And an act of dramatization, not appropriate. However, it was an adult daughter, as I understand. So I don't know. Life it's comedic. It's a drama. It's a heartbreaker, right? Life is everything at once. But here's what I trust. I trust I trust there's a perfect order to everything. I actually trust that even that people meet for reasons. And I have in my heart and in my mind the belief that I can help a lot of people. I can help. I can help people. And, tried to mention that to Miss Grace when she showed up too, that, what was the topic? Being present, open, and grateful. And I offered at the beginning of the stream that I could offer, I help with that. So I care about people. And what I see on these streams, despite all the names and all the labels and all the assumptions and accusations between all the different characters that we see on these streams together, I see people just like me, a little bit different, but people. I see people trying to figure themselves out and I think many are genuinely trying to help others. Even Mr. Snafu, I think he is genuinely trying to help in his own clumsy way. But yeah, it was an interesting day. Yeah. After the stream here yesterday, though, I did end up back. I spent time with TBE, Toilet Bowl Earth. I didn't restream from there, but spent time with him. And The idea was we resonated in several ways, and this is what I mean. I see a lot of people. I see a lot of people with differing ideas. Now, differing ideas don't make us tangibly different, right? The difference isn't it's irrelevant. We can get past our beliefs if we communicate with each other. And yesterday, I thought I was getting through and having some communication because, like 𝕍𝕚𝕤𝕚 offered, I personally feel that capitalism is in direct opposition to the tenets of what Jesus taught. And so, for people who call themselves followers of Christ or call themselves Christians, they should be questioning themselves. Why do they support the profiting of from others? Right? That's what capitalism is. It's the profiting and the insuring of debts. No forgiveness in capitalism, right? That's not part of the bargain, not part of the contract, not part of the deal. Brothers and sisters, life is what we make it. Can you believe that? Can you know that? That life is what we make it? Reminds me, here, this was the quote that got me going today. I heard this from somewhere else. What you do has less importance than the purpose behind what you do. What you actually do is of less importance than the purpose behind what you do. Kind of ties into the conversation from Machine Lies had offered at one point, the distinction between style and technique. In the end, I believe what we are judged on is our, what did we do? What was our intention? What was in our heart at those times when choices were made? What was in the heart? Was the heart filled with love and goodness and light, or was the heart filled with hate and revenge and fear? See, I think what we do, because we can do the right thing, and do the right thing poorly. And even our attempts to do the right thing, sometimes they backfire. Sometimes it causes some damage you got to clean up, right? But as long as your intentions are right, that is what really matters. Why did you do what you did? Why are you doing what you're doing? Honestly, if we look at a lot of the crime statistics from today, and this is admittedly, this is without evidentiary, I don't have sources to point to prove this, but if you look at just generically but logically why most crimes occur, most crimes are out of anger, out of desperation, out of fear. Um, this world we live in, it has literally profited from confusion. The world we live in has profited from conflicts. It profits from wars. People do. People like you and me are profiting because other people like you and me are dying and murdering each other in wars on the battlefield, right? Praise God, man. What I think is important is that we gain clarity. What is tying it back to the topic and where the conversation was earlier, getting clarity in your own purpose, your own intention. What is it you choose to do? Why, excuse me, Why are you doing the things in your day that you're doing? Do you know? Or are you just doing them because, well, I did it before, or because someone told you? See, this is what I realized. If you don't have clarity and purpose, clarity of your own purpose, your own intention, guess what? You're going to make choices that weren't your choices, choices that don't actually serve you. You're going to remember the little commercial jingle when you're out shopping instead of the nutritional information you had learned about. Praise God. This world we live in, this world we live in is so amazing. This is where I have chosen to turn my own time, though, right? Each day I still have the same number of hours in the day that I used to. But today, instead of being all angry and afraid and worried, and I focus on God, I focus on love, I focus on light, on the truth, on unity, on goodness. Those things, they all go together. Those are the things I choose to know today. I choose to be one with. I choose to, well, that's my purpose. That's my intention, is to grow in my connection, in my relationship with God. I want to grow in my relationship with love, grow in my relationship with the light of life, um, the light of Christ. I want to grow in my relationship with the truth. Now, the world, right? Within us, we have within us the spark of love, light, truth, unity, goodness, all of that. We have the spark of God within us. Within us as well, we have the the opposer. I was thinking about this earlier, the rebellious nature, which is that not the Luciferian idea? Lucifer being the most beautiful angel, got all egoic, started wars in heaven, got kicked out. He was a rebel. He was a defier. He was the opposer. He tried to replace, that's the idea of his reign here on earth, is to turn this to hell, turn this being here, this realm of earth. I think the satanic idea is to turn this to hell and yet rule in hell. That's an option. That's an option that God has, in the multitude of variabilities. Yeah. God's like, sure, why not? Yeah. Within reason, all things can be. So, yeah, these people, though I create them, though I've given them everything, including my son and the example, though I've given them all the answers, certainly they can serve the deceived. They can serve the Lord of lies, that which opposes growth and the light, Satan, devil, etc., whatever you want to call it. But God, the goodness that brings the love, right? The darkness, the opposer, the antichrist that's within you. There's an antichrist within you. There's an antichrist in me, and there is a Christ in me. There's a Christ in you. Who do we want ourselves to be with? To serve. So the opposer wants to serve with fear, intimidation, control, regret, right? The best way the devil can get into our mind for the fear is if we feel shame. We're going to feel shame and guilt when we do things that are unworthy, right? When they're sinful. So the darkness, the opposer, it works through fear, deception, confusion, division. It's evil. Evil exists. Evil exists within you, the capacity of it, the capacity of true evil, true darkness, true fear, true deception, true division. There's a spark of that within you. But you don't have to allow it to reign. And as a matter of fact, I trust this is our path. What each of us are here to do on earth, what I believe we are here to do, right? The purpose behind what we do. What we are here to do is to bring the love, to bring the light, to bring the healing through you. It starts with you. I'm just a reminder God created for you, to remind you of the love that's within you, the light that's within you, the truth, the unity, the goodness. Some people forget. But I tell you what, if that's inside of you, that it is inside of others too. Our God is so amazing. The way it creates, its perfection, it is reflected and part of everything, and everything is reflected and part of. Praise God. Sincerely, God is so good. What if your purpose, what if your purpose from here on was for you to grow peace? How could you grow peace from where you are, greater than what you know? We talked about that yesterday. Silence. Silence is the path to, silence is the path to profound self-realization. Oh my God. Daisy May, okay, please. I have seen your care and your support for you to require that I actually say those words. Daisy May, please, and all others, for the record. From my view, incest is wrong. Okay? I don't support it. I don't really think it's funny. I don't think it's a great thing. So please don't assume that just because I didn't throw a fit at what was not actually incest, what was actually just people reacting in unhealthy relationships, but it was not actual promotion of incest. I didn't see that at all. But here, for the record, for Daisy May and any others, I do not support incest or child violation. Let's remember, matter of fact, here, can we get off of me defending myself again, and let's actually focus on does anyone ever talk about what I talk about? Sincerely. Golly geez, man. Praise God. So what grows peace within ourselves is when we have a knowing. And a knowing, it's just an experience, it's a state of experience of being. That's what I'm seeing. A bunch of saints pearl clutching. Tell you what, it sounds like if you were traumatized, tell you what, For anyone who was traumatized by the stream that they suffered through when they tuned into me yesterday, for all of you who are traumatized and you need a hug, you need a little reassurance that Jack's not really, that Snafu's not right about Jack. Okay. If you need that special attention, please reach out. I'm easily found. Golly geez, I'll put up my phone number if it's helpful. I mean, I know a lot of people, it's like they got to be spoon fed every single thing, but I was about to kick you, Lindsay. I thought that might be a funny response. Yeah, I'm not a supporter of it. So why do you choose to believe that I entertain it rather than kicking? Okay, so see, again, people are so, it's like no matter what I do, Lindsay, you specifically, okay, check yourself. Because no matter what I do, someone will bitch, someone will complain, someone will find a problem. If you have questions for my behavior, rather than just judgment and condemnation, rather than just disappointment, if you're, fuck, oh dear, man. Provo, thank you. I guess I'll ignore most of the chat. I'd be ignoring most of the world. That's the thing. People, yeah, our poll, God bless. Thank you. If you got an opinion, go fucking take it to them. It's not me. Thank you, our poll. Holy crap, man. People are just crazy, dude. And this is what's frustrating. I mean, I am sincerely, my intention, my purpose, what I'm trying to bring the conversation to is maybe God and love and light, unity, maybe bringing some peace to the world. Anyone want to put down some disagreements and opinions for a little bit? Want to talk about bringing peace to the world? Holy cows, I'd love that. I would love it. I don't know. Um, this 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 idea though, if you're going through your life, are you aware? Are you aware of you and how you're going through life? Or are you focused on others? Are you focused on your thoughts on life? Because thoughts on life are different than life. There is a distinction. Just like your thoughts on me is different than me. I'm most likely, especially if you've listened to any of the people in these stupid streams, I am not likely as you think. I assure you. Well, who knows? Who knows? I don't know. Um, the Macker never lacks. Blessings to you. Blessings to you. This, here, let's bring this around. The topic what's in my heart. This is our lifetime. Every single day we get to live as an opportunity to grow. What does it mean to grow for you? How have you been growing? Do you know? Have you been growing? Because if you're not growing, then what are you doing? These are conversations I've had with myself. I wish I'd have had these conversations with myself a long time ago, right? Because I wasn't growing. I was spinning my wheels talking about growing. I spinning my wheels complaining, telling myself how hard I was working, telling others how hard it was. And it was sometimes, but it wasn't as hard as I felt. My life felt hard because my mind was filled and clouded with despair. My mind was clouded with despair because I didn't have God in my life. I mean, I can't prove that's the reason, but this is one of the conclusions I've come to. Um, I felt dark and full of despair with depression and anger and just not real pleasant. I mean, I put on a fake smile and I joked a lot, but man, life sucked. And I trust today I say it's because I didn't have God in my life. And honestly, I accept full responsibility. I believe that's why my son is not in my life at this moment, because I didn't raise him with God. Well, what is God? God is love. Now, don't get me wrong, I loved my son. I love my son, past, present, future. I love the boy I know, and I'd love to meet the young man. But I accept responsibility. He's on his path. He'll find God on his own path. I'd love to help him discover how beautiful and amazing it is. But um, see, God and love, those two things, they go together. And see, I didn't understand within myself love. I didn't know what love, healthy love was. How about that? I didn't have a clear understanding on what healthy love was earlier in my life. Honestly, it wasn't until I lost everyone and everything that I knew. Praise God. God is so good. See, these mental attachments we create, these emotional bonds we feel, it's all crap we create. We're responsible for all that. You don't have to be attached to anyone or anything. I do encourage you develop a strong attachment, strong, healthy relationship with God. Okay. God being, well, God being life. Get a healthy relationship with life, right? Life as you know it from your perspective is the evidence of God with you. How about that? That's what I found for myself. The evidence of God is my awareness of this moment. If God wasn't with me, how would I know? So um, it's only through God's grace, through God's perfection, that I get to be experienced and to experience this moment with you. How special is it? How special is it that God created us so perfectly? So perfectly. Somehow we made it all of these years of our lives. We made it through those. Remember those crazy stories of yourself, right? That one time you shouldn't have made it through that, but hey, here we are. I know there's a lot of people who resonate with that. There's no reason for me to be. So if I am, why? Why does the creative force of nature, why did it keep me alive? Why? What am I here for? See, in the past, I thought I was here to work my way to retirement, to put my son through college and help pay the debts and get him started on his home ownership and debt mortgage, right? That's what I thought I was here for. I had a long plan, right? 30-year plan was my career, was my path. That was what I was doing. And the things changed. I did have some solid plans. Sincerely, I had it all worked out. We were going to have, before his mother left. Actually, I'll get into these stories again another day. My life has grown and changed quite a bit. I've had to adapt, right? You've got these plans, and all of a sudden, whoop, nope, that plan ain't going anymore. So you got to regroup, kind of change directions, change strategies a little bit. I have changed strategies many times in this life. And that is where I am at today. I want to encourage you to join me in the strategy I found. The strategy I found, the way I'm playing this game these days, it's the way of Jesus. It's what he taught. It's the way of love, the way of faith, way of compassion, right? The way of care. I was reminded of this earlier. The power of care. I'd heard it presented first by Mark Passio, and then this morning I heard it presented by another lady, The Alchemist, I think is her channel. Anyway, there's the 7 Hermetic principles, which have become relatively known through the book, The Kybalion, written by what would they call themselves? 3 Adepts, something like that. Anyway, there's a lot of people who have spoken about the 7 Hermetic principles: polarity, masculine, feminine, rhythm. There's 7 of them. It's all his mind. The eighth, as it's proposed by these others, is care. It is from the power of care, where what we care about is going to direct our mind. Our mind energy will be directed by our care. And through our time and attention, right, our mental energy and our focus, that's what grows things in this realm. We are manifestors. We are co-creators. We are here to reign in this world, brothers and sisters. Brothers and sisters, we live today in a world that has been run by lies. It's not healthy. I've been seeing the news, right? And I don't know what's right, what's not right. I know that in this world that it can be very tough to be a human, especially if you don't have answers, if you don't have solutions. And right now, brothers and sisters, there are millions of humans, men, women, and children. They're not safe. They're not secure. Not in the slightest stretch of the imagination. I know they're perfectly in God's hands, that all of nature is just perfect. Nature can be cruel, but brothers and sisters, we You and me and those like us, we were created to be here. We've got we've got the ability to care within us. We have the gift of mind, the ability to tune our mind and consciousness into thoughts of light and order, thoughts of love, thoughts of health, unity, thoughts of God. Or we can, of course, go the other way. And we can spend time growing fear and anger and hate and division. I say enough of that. Join with me, please. My purpose, my intentions here with these streams is, as I say in the beginning, I want to share some encouragement, some inspiration into the world. And I know we can have some fun doing it too. We can have fun doing this, sharing encouragement, enlightenment, whatever you want to call it. We don't have to be at war with each other. I know that we are here to create a better world. And a better world starts, well, it starts right now. It starts from within. You get to direct, you get to control, you get to create and nurture. And I've heard it said that in the vastness of consciousnness, right, in the vastness of time and space, where we are is the universe becoming conscious of itself. Now, as you and I, right, I got to do my part, you got to do your part. As we go within and realize, actualize, become authentic and true, right? One with the present, unite, humbling ourselves, allowing ourselves the first death, the mental death. Allow your old beliefs and opinions to be sacrificed. I'm telling you, it's worth it. It's so much better to go through life just to flow and like what you like, don't like what you don't like, but who cares, right? Enjoy the journey and grow in your experience, grow in your wisdom, grow in your talent. If you're not growing, what are you doing? That I'm asking you as a friend, right? And I am a friend to you, whoever you are. If you allow me to be, I am a friend to you. I care. I care about this world that we are, that we are co-creating. Here's where I was going. As you and I realize, actualize, as we become more whole, more conscious, more loving, it creates ripples through the universe. It matters. It matters what you think. It matters what you say. It matters what you do. It can't be undone. So choose cautiously, choose consciously. How about that? Choose consciously what you are doing. I heard a great reminder the other day, and I'm admittedly trying to improve my own ways, but as the ideas come into your head, as the thoughts and the feelings come forth, question yourself. What would be my purpose? What is the intention? Just because I have this thought, just because I have this feeling, doesn't mean it has to move me. You don't have to be moved by your thoughts, by your feelings. You can choose which ones you succumb to. You can choose which ideas and feelings you allow to move. That's what I've been working on. I don't want the angry thoughts to move me, even my words. And You know, praise God. Plenty of people want to offer me the gift of challenge, the gift of testing me. I look forward to when the blessings are shown more often. Where was I going? Hey, brothers and sisters, I do. Would you please? We can get along in the chat too. I have not been paying attention, but please, please, we can get along. We don't have to be insulting. Along those lines, the link is pinned for those who may wish to join. I will happily entertain a panel again. Actually, not just entertain, I'd welcome a panel for those who wish to have conversations. I'd like to keep kind of the general theme and topic, though, of growing peace. Hey, Daisy May, it happened. It can't be undone. It happened on your channel, and you let it happen. Daisy May, you certainly seem provoked by it. Now, the narrative you choose of it, that's within your control. You decide what you saw happened. You decide what damages can't be undone. Were there damages to what happened? Was there substantial harms, perhaps? I mean, I know certainly your disappointment is something, and Snafu was relying on you, by the way. So I don't know if you guys usually team up, but yeah, your disappointment. You're welcome to share that disappointment with others. It can't be undone, but here's something I want to remind everybody as adults, right? Life happens. Life happens. Sometimes our feelings get hurt, sometimes, and righteously, right? I mean, a betrayal on a marriage or the death, the loss, some tragic news. That shit, it hurts, right? But here's the facts. When life presents things that disappoint us, that hurt us, guess what? We get to choose. We get to choose how deep it hurts. We get to choose how long it lasts. We get to choose what it requires for us to change our opinion or what it requires for whatever. Yes, thank you, Lavonda. This is kind of what I'm at. The disappointment again. Here, Daisy May, tell you what. Number one, if you have questions or concerns, I encourage you to go ask. Go ask Grace specifically. I believe she's pretty open. She seems very open and, not really a lot of intimidation. So she doesn't seem like she's real fragile and damaged. I mean, confused, sure, but please go ask her, but don't blame me. Golly, geez. I mean, that's just yes. And it was choices that were made consciously. And okay, 17 at the time. So she was 17 and she made a stupid choice on her own. Yeah, just oh my God. Rita, bless you. Yes, thank you. And our poll. It's this is what I've been dealing with. I'm not complaining and I'm not playing victim, but watch and see. For those of you with eyes to see, people project all sorts of things on me. Their disappointment, their doubts, their disbelief, their confusion. Oh, it's all Jack's fault. Jack's to blame for everything that most people feel. Don't you know? Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's life. Life is what it is. And I don't want here. I don't want to beat up anybody. Daisy May has been loyal and very supportive. And I don't know. I don't know if you heard something wrong or if you misunderstood something, but you know, I don't know. Hmm. Yeah, life is fascinating. Here, I don't know enough of the story to feel bad, and I encourage you consider that same view. You don't know enough, okay? Um, I genuinely, I know I can help. I know I can help anyone. Anyone who wants some help in gaining some clarity in your purpose and intentions. Anyone who wants some support in growing inner peace, which I see many people who have plenty of opportunities to grow in inner peace. Um, I don't know. I don't know what I don't know what I don't know. Don't know. Life is I was skimming through some of the chat here, so I'm not sure where to take the stream. Honestly, I've the oh, excuse me, got a little beard hair in my mouth. That was bizarre. Doesn't happen often. So the topic of clarity of purpose, clarity of intention, those things are sincerely, they're up to you. But from experience, what I was trying to explain earlier, from experience, as I gained in clarity of my purpose and my intentions, was more conscious about my choices, man, much more inner peace. And inner peace is how we shine our light. And welcome, Miss Cynthia, one who shines bright.
What up, homie? It's
I,
kind of weird because I got the camera here, but the computer's over here, so I'm kind of getting my bearings adjusted. I came up here to hang out with you.
work it out. Yeah, get comfy with it.
Yeah. So how? I caught the stream last night. I had never ever seen any of those that father or daughter ever. I mean,
They're interesting.
they are interesting. But like we've always said, you're the person where people can come and talk about things. You're the person that always makes it a easy spot to meet and have conversation. I hate that they are you are feeling like attacked because of
Thank
that. Because at the end of the day, nobody is not responsible for anybody else's behavior. Like Jack's not responsible for my behavior.
thank you.
Um, Jack is not responsible for their behavior. Jack is not responsible. Now, Jack is responsible for his platform, but like he said, I
Good.
mean, they weren't up there being like, you know what, guys, we should be doing later today. Like
No,
he allowed a platform, so I'm. It does appear that some are disturbed by the conversations and by that, but Is this the first time we've ever heard of this situation happening in anybody's life? Unfortunately, it's
No. These Hey, welcome, Tarek. And thank you, Cynthia.
Okay.
Really, they shared their story. There was no promotion of inappropriate stuff. They shared well, they shared stories because people came and put them on the trial, right? Wanted answers for what they heard. And I saw them kind of answering, but I don't know.
indeed. And he without sin cast the first stone, and I am far from perfect. So who am I to judge another person's behavior or their walk in life when my walk is not perfect?
No. I'd actually like to discuss, I'd love to have a conversation with them as human beings, right? Off the stream.
Hmm.
And because it sounds like if what they're saying is true, mom has some things going on too. And it sounds like it was very unhealthy, maybe toxic. I don't know if it became abusive or not, but it's certainly, I don't know them well.
I'm definitely not qualified to handle any conversation like that. So shout out to you. Much support. Good job. I'm just a spectator.
Much love. Hey, Tarek, how you doing, brother?
Well, how are you, Jack? Can I chime in a little bit on this so we can get some clarity? So this way we can shut this bus down that people are claiming, if you don't mind.
Please.
Okay, so I believe the main thing was, I personally don't believe you support any pedos and anything that's been said. Okay, that's my belief. Everybody has their own. Now, the only thing that maybe everybody's taken and maybe putting in their perspective is when you said it was very interesting when Scott asked you at the end, what do you think about the chaos? I think just me, I would have used a different word like disturbing, weird, whatever that may be. But again, I don't know, for example, what you're thinking at the time in your mind. And I think if you maybe clear that for some people, maybe they'll understand that's not what you meant. And I'm not speaking on your behalf. I'm just seeing it from my perspective, maybe a viewer.
Well, here it showed up again, I guess. I guess people are offended by the choice of word or disagree. They disagree with the title of interesting. Now, disturbing, okay, you can feel disturbed. I've heard a hell of a lot worse stories. I know for a fact that there is true evil and sickness in this world, and I did not see true evil or sickness from them. So if you want to feel, clutch the pearls and place yourself up so high above those people and myself, feel free to do so.
Is interesting a bad word? Because I use interesting a lot when I really want to say, what the fuck? I just say, oh, that's interesting. And then when I just looked it up, it said arousing curiosity or interest, hold or can catching the attention. That's definitely an attention grabber, the subject they were talking about.
Well, and
Yeah.
here's the difference. I think people are disappointed in me because I didn't offer judgment like them. Because my comment of interesting, I'm not judgmental. I'm curious. I would like to understand better. Because is mom still alive? I mean, because what's going on here? It's a family. families trying to figure out what's going on, and they don't need. Everyone is willing to offer their insults and willing to offer their opinions. These people were, I don't know, brave enough, foolish enough to put it out online. But Cynthia, thank you. Apparently, a big criticism of me is that my response was, it was interesting. I mean, I was a little taken back. I don't know how do you respond to a young lady who said she mocked fellatio in her dad's lap in order to trigger her mother? How do you deal with that? I don't know. I've never dealt with that before. The fuck? I mean,
Okay, Jack. I'll answer Cynthia's
Jack,
question
can I
about
save us
the
a lot of time, Jack? Sorry, Tarek. Sorry, HR
No,
lady.
you're good.
She's HR lady.
Hi.
Can
we
I
just
save
speak
us all
one at
some
a
time?
time, Tommy?
Jack,
can we
can you
please
see?
speak one at a time?
Shut your mouth. Can you play the 55-second clip in the back? It's safe. It's EBTs. Just play it for us, Jack. I'll sum this all up.
No, Jack's not your bitch. She's not going to just do whatever.
Who is this? Who is this woman? I'm not an employee here, sir. I'm not an employee here. You better check your HR representative. Can we please play the 55-second video in the back? She has no reason to take any kind of stand. She's stupid.
Oh, it's just a video, Jack, of enslaved.
Yeah, ruin it all. Ruin it all. Just play it, Jack.
Cynthia, please. Thank you. I am gonna pull it up. Tommy, you're.
Thank you. No, play it.
Hold on.
Tommy.
It sucks.
No, Tommy. Stupid bitch. Shut your fucking mouth.
Shut up, Tommy.
Be kind, both of you.
You want your answers? Do you want to stop focusing on confusion? Play the video.
Tommy, there's a better way to ask.
Yeah, with you gone, you fat cunt.
Hey, please.
You could have shut her up in the beginning. It's your show.
Body of Christ or something. I don't know. Like the body of Christ or something. I don't know.
He always tries to look vaguely religious, obviously, and he talks in vaguely religious.
Damn, that
you guys buy it? No one buys it, right?
Then who are you talking about?
Does anyone buy what this guy's selling?
Who are you talking about?
I'm talking about you, and I'm asking
That's
these guys
what I
if they
thought.
buy
So
what you're selling.
You're seeking opinions. You're
trying
seeking
to give you
opinions
facts.
for validation.
Yes, I'm seeking opinions.
Right.
Yes,
That's what the foolish do. The foolish seek validation
my
through
God.
opinion, and they disregard the fact. I presented you some facts and explanations, but your ridiculous judgment prevented you from even considering it. So, EBT, brother, this was an honor. I appreciate
all right, fuck off, Jack. Bye.
Rage Quit. Have a
Waste
good
of
night,
time.
guys.
Waste of time. Such a loser. Try to do.
Thank you, Tommy.
So why are you sitting up here acting like Grace and Ben are so new to you? That's from like a year ago or more. And you know they can. I told you last night, before you let TBE throw snafu snaps on you as per usual, we covered, like, dude, you know they did not come up here to do anything but troll you. This is the Thorps. Like, I had to convince the internet that they didn't have actual incest going on, because that girl wouldn't live there and say faggot online more than I do if they were actually having incestual assault happen. They've been touring around together in an RV, going to casinos and shit, and because everyone doesn't bother to just watch each other's stuff, you three sit up here looking like a failed Oprah show. And you're gonna help people? Like, you're gonna psych about them when you're looking silly up here with your HR representative and your 40-year resident of America that comes off foreign? Come on.
What value are you adding to this stream at this moment, Tommy? Go.
Oh, I'm wrecking you and your big fat face.
I've had enough. Your audio sucked, Tommy. That's part of the reason I threw you to the back. And the other part is
The audio is very bad.
yeah, your audio sucked, Tommy.
So,
But-
peace
Go ahead.
is what we were talking about.
right, Jack? That's the topic you wanted to stay on, peace.
Well, ideally, I mean, seems the chat wants to. I don't know. You know, Sterling, when you host your panel and then you learn of something, you know, the next time I learn of something like that, I'll do your way, okay? So, considering the fact that I'm not just paying attention to the stream, but you know, the chat and everything else, for this fucking to be to this for this to even be that big of a topic, that the viewers here are so upset because Jack didn't speak up and condemn somebody enough. What the hell is this? And then here, Brown's boy, yes, I have tried having good guests, having other guests, and unfortunately, a lot of excuses.
When is that?
People don't like to cooperate with me. I'm doing the best I can with what the world offers me.
I was in and out of your chat yesterday. Did anybody from the chat who had a problem with it, did any of them come up and address the issue, or no? Oh, okay.
Well, Snafu tried, but Snafu found enablers. He got Chuck. He got Chuck, and Daisy May, and then they get enough people to criticize and slander Jack, and then it starts to get some weight, and then it carries around, and it interrupts the next stream for me. Good job, guys.
That's
Hey, I'd rather have Chuck than Rocky any day. Shout out, Chuck.
Yeah. But Jack, here's the amazing part. All right, so like you said, things were said. I would have said something different, but it doesn't mean that you were not thinking that. But here's the thing: today on Paul's show and OTW, Paul, not only he's now promoting that he would love to have, sex with Jennifer and her daughter, he's also promoting that he would be open to have sex with a man and his wife, and they would do like a swinger thing where they would switch if the man was like a good man and the woman was a good woman. So that's the Paul that nobody's talking about, and they think that's okay. And I hate to bring Paul into this, but Paul was talking a lot of shit on his show today that I don't think that is normal.
Are you saying that some people have selective outrage? It's easier to be outraged at some than it is others?
I don't understand them anymore, because first I was really sickened by the part where Jennifer's daughter had to be brought into this. Now today he went and said he'd be open to have sex with somebody else's wife, and he can share his wife or his girlfriend, whatever it is. And I don't understand the chat. They're coming hard on you today, but they're leaving Paul alone for some reason.
Well, sounds like selective outrage to me, and it's basically they're not really doing this off of principle. They're just doing it out of spite. And like I said the other day on someone else's chat, sometimes people are just mean to other people for no other reason than it makes them feel good about themselves.
Yeah.
Well,
and Jack's not responsible for what Paul does, and it's unfortunate that happens. But at the end of the day, Paul's a big boy. If that's what he wants to do, that's his freak flag, then let his freak flag fly.
You're right. He should do what he wants to do. You're right. He's a big boy, but when he puts himself on a big pedestal that he's the way, and now he's promoting to his cult viewers, that's how it should be. And it's promoted that it's okay and normal. Some other viewers may think that it's normal. That's not normal. I'm sorry.
I can agree with that, but unfortunately, the agreements that we have aren't those of everybody. And if we're going to respect the thoughts and ideas of others, then we have to do that, no matter if we agree with it or not. And I think that's what Jack was attempting to do yesterday. But for some reason, there's selective outrage today about it. And it's nothing more than this game. It's a game being played. We all know this.
Yep.
When are they going to grow up? When are people going to grow up? That's the question.
I don't ever want to grow up.
They could have just asked you the question, Jack. They could have just asked you, why did you say it was interesting? I don't know if they asked you that or not, and they could have got your view on that. You could have been able to explain it maybe yesterday on TV show, and then all that would have been clarified. But I don't know. They took the different method.
Yeah, I don't know what to say, man.
It's the internet. It's this red app. Anything subject to change in a moment's notice.
Well, life is a journey, and hey, and actually, reminded by one of the chats, clarity of purpose and intention. Life brings us these stumbles, right? These little trips. Even if we fall down, as long as we get back up, we stay focused. We keep our focus, our intention, and keep clear on the purpose.
Yeah, stay the course.
It is. Yeah. That's all it is. Centered. Take the leading role in keeping the focus on where you want to go. You first and guide. I've been working on ideas how to do that, Guru. How to stay above and encourage others to rise above some of the chaos that happens on here.
When you feel like this chaos comes, Jack, do you feel like it's the Lord stopping you for going down a road that's not meant for you, or for the evilness to stop you from going down the road that is meant for you?
I believe each day is just a preparation for the next.
Oh wow.
So I've wondered, am I having as much resistance? Is the universe giving me this much challenge because I'm going the wrong way? Or is God testing my commitment, my devotion? Which is true? Sometimes it's tough to know.
Indeed.
I want to welcome Brother Machine Lies. Pleasure to have you, my friend.
Greetings to everyone.
Hello.
Yeah, I really like this topic. In terms of purpose, starting out with, intentions, clear intentions, and having a clarity of purpose. I think, I often say that purpose starts at the beginning of what you do, not at the end of what you do. It's not looking out for the end result of an action, but it's what you start out with, the sincerity and intention that you start out with at the beginning. That clarifies, our sense of purpose. I say purpose is like destiny, whereas, seeking things out for a certain end or a result, that's like fate. That's fatalism. You're dealing with cause and effect. Something has to happen for something else to happen, and not everything actually works that way. Love doesn't work that way. Love has to have clarity of intentions at the start,
What do you think along those lines? This is kind of this thought is what got me going today. What you do has less importance than the purpose behind what you do. And our intention is going to determine our purpose behind what we're doing, right? That's where I was thinking.
Yeah, it's almost as if, if we have clarity of purpose, that means if we perform an action with sincerity, not only do we not need to look out for the results, but we put in everything we need to at the beginning. So we're not worried about how things are going to turn out because it's sincere. An action that's sincere, puts everything it needs to in one go. It doesn't think around. That kind of duplicitous action is always mixed emotions. It's always thinking, oh well, I'm halfway in here and I'm halfway in there. But a house divided cannot stand. That's the way of the heart. The way of the heart is the way of wholeness. And centeredness. And centeredness means means starting from where we are, to expand from where we are. So, not wanting to be in some special place or wanting to get to some special destination to make a change, but yeah, thank you guys for being here.
Thank you, TML. I like the way you said clear intentions. It took me back to some of the journeys I've been on and how my intentions started off one way, and somewhere halfway through the journey, I realized that what I thought I was doing wasn't truly the lesson I needed to learn, and it became something else, and I trusted the process. So yes, clear intentions in the beginning are a must, but also understand they're not the end all the time as well. Is that not the journey? Is this not the journey we all want to be on, though? Knowing that there's something greater that guides us?
Yes, I think it's important to realize along the way, if there's a course correction, if you will, that there is a greater plan we may not be, understanding. That means that, and that's why I said, when you start out with that clarity, you don't need to question what comes along the way. Meaning the end result. When you get,
Right.
you don't need to get to where you're going, especially to figure out what you're doing it for. You know what I mean? You know why you're headed in the direction you're headed. You know what I mean? That's purpose. You know what I'm saying? It's moving with the sense of, going to where you got to get to, but not being there for any reason. That's kind of like trying to put one foot in the boat and one foot in land. You know what I'm saying? Right. But it's like, the boat is to get you there. After you're done with getting there, you can get rid of the boat, as if they say. You know what I mean? Right. So the boat is just a tool to get you to where you're at. That's what, all of the means that we employ. The means are just the way to get you to the end. The end is not so important if you know why you set off on the journey in the first place. Like they say, if you don't know where you're, if you don't know where you came from, you don't know where you're going. And if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. I took that from Alice in Wonderland in the movie, The Cheshire Cat. Where Alice comes up to the Cheshire Cat and she says, "I'm lost." And he says, well, where are you headed to? And she says, "I don't know." And he says, "Well, you're not lost then. If you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there." It doesn't fucking matter where you're headed. You know what I mean? If you don't have purpose, you could go where you want.
I think as I've gotten older in life, even reaching the end is not even important to me anymore, as much as it is how much I can touch along the journey and affect. How many seeds can I plant? How many flowers can I help bloom along the way? It's not even the end anymore. If I reach the end, will it be the end? I want to go as hard and as long as I can.
Yeah, the thing that's even more elusive than ends are beginnings. You know what I mean, right? It's like, where does anything ever begin? You'll notice you think that something started off at a certain point, but there's always a greater cause for it. There's always a great, if you zoom out, there's always a bigger, so the thing is that you have to start somewhere. You're gonna start with an incomplete set of information, but you have to apply it broadly. That means you have to apply everything, because you don't get a second chance to act, because if you keep on acting halfway, then act 75% next time, then act 85% next time, every time you act is going to be diminished. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's like the best thing is that Bruce Lee, you know, you hit him with everything you got in one blow. You know what I mean, right? You know, that's the correct way to do things, and that helps you conquer indecision, because it's like, you know, indecisiveness is really the devil. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, they say indecisiveness, you know, if you're caught between two things, you know, not only is it the first instinct that's always correct usually, but it's like, you know what I mean? You know, there's usually that little voice in the back of your, you know, thing that goes, I don't know about that. That voice is always correct. You know what I mean? Right? You know, it's like shit. You know what I mean? Don't question that voice. You know what I mean? But it's like, you know, unless you're 100% into it, don't do it. You know, that's an action that lacks sincerity, and you're gonna regret it once you're done anyway. So it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Right?
Jack, what do you think?
I love where he took that, especially regarding sincerity. Sincerity and authentic, and being purposeful with our deeds, with our actions. If you're going to do something, do it with full purpose, full intention. But then that brings a question that I've been wondering. When is it time to put in the everything? And when is it time to conserve a little bit more so you can last? You know, that's a question we each face in different ways and different challenges. But what do you think? How do you know when to put yourself all in, and when to, okay, this is enough?
I can speak for myself. Learning to rest and take time to center and rebalance myself so that I myself could be at peak performance before I head out. Needed to take precedence over the schedule I had created for the month. By this date, I should be at live such and such. By this date, I should be at live such and such. Because I'm noticing the further in this journey, there's something always making me either choose. You need to get recentered and stay off the internet for a minute so you can be at your peak performance when you come back. And that's far more important than producing. It's the quality you're going to produce over the quantity. And that's just the decision we all have to make. Some may say, no, fuck that. I'm in it for the numbers. I'm going hard in the yard every day. I'll rest when I'm dead. That's not my mentality. That's not how I perform at my best peak. I'm only can give you my example.
Good for you. What do you think, brother? Thoughts on when to go all in, when to keep a little in reserve?
Well, I am thinking of taking a month off in terms of the streaming schedule. I think it's because I'm heading over to a Ramadan. So I'll be fasting for 29 days. So I won't have the clarity of mind, and I don't want to start yelling at people online and telling everybody to fuck off and all that stuff. I don't think that'll be good for my religious practice as well. So I think I'll probably stay off of the online, you know, more the normal streaming schedule. But I was having some thoughts, and I hope you guys will like to engage me about awareness and about willpower. You know, I think that freedom and you know, kind of power, you know, that we have are not as good as sort of will and control. And when I think about control, I think of will as being sporadic, you know, and you know, and kind of you know, freedom being something that isn't really part of our daily experience, because we are kind of you know, what we have is we have a lot of choices between things, you know, and that doesn't really give us freedom. But if we learn how to control what we can do about the different choices we have in front of us, you know, then we can kind of you know, you know, you know, put things in order before us, because we can't control we don't have freedom to choose, who we love or what our particular circumstances are, but we do have a sense of control that comes from that inner sense of willpower, that we can direct ourselves into controlling the different circumstances around us. So I was thinking about the difference between control and freedom, and how that applies, to what we can do, our potential, really.
Those are important questions. Where does the freedom begin? Where does the control end? Because with freedom comes responsibility. With control comes responsibility, opportunity. Yes. They're all tied together.
Yeah, I have this line that I think applies very much. I'm gonna share the screen, and hopefully we could get on this. But I think that this is very okay. Well, we can't really see. I'll try to zoom in on this. But
make sure to hit the like button, guys. It helps Jack.
But this is the first sentence of chapter 47. And the Blackney translation, at least the Blackney translation says, when the way rules the world, coach horses fertilize the fields. When the way does not rule, war horses breed in the parks. And I think that's like the situation. Like it's kind of like it's the same set of rules. It's the same circumstances. You got the horses, you got the field, you got everything's the same. But it's like depending on how you organize things, everything changes. When the way is fulfilled, then wild horses, they fertilize the fields because they're free. So they just walk around and they fertilize the fields freely. But when you try to control things, you try to try to control nature, you try to establish order and all this stuff, then war horses breed in the park. Like everything becomes extremely organized, but it's like what it's organized for, the ends that it's organized for are inherently corrupt. You know what I mean? So it just kind of, it's like the same set of circumstances, but depending on how you go about things, it totally changes the situation. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Along those lines, we've got another guest. Welcome,
hey,
brother.
Ragamuffin.
Yes.
Yo, what it is? What up, everybody? Yo, I just came to bring the vibes and, just loving on y'all, man. Hey, let me just say it just plain as day. Fuck the haters. Fuck the haters and the agitators because they're here to make us be the best versions of ourselves. So, you know what I'm saying? I love you, Jack. I love you, TML. I love you, Cynthia. I mean it.
I love you too, Ragamuffin. You did bring the vibes, and they were much needed.
Yeah, this life ain't easy. And I know we all deal with our own individual nonsense on a given day. We're all battling something, whether it be financial constraints, hardships, and, health and wellness, family members, the lack of not speaking with certain people at certain times. Bro, I get it. I feel it. I know you're all in your own journeys and you're all doing your best you can to move forward. Everybody here is. I know that. And we got the characters that like to play these little fucked up roles that like to pop in and out instead of just doing their own thing. We know that's going on too. But I just came to say much love, blessings, and respect. And yeah. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys doing your thing. I'm over here doing my thing. It's just not as visible right now. Reggie's keeping quiet while he works. And, we building some new things this year and hopefully making humanity, better each and every day by our own actions and the way we carry ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Because we got to be the difference that we want to see. We do.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Hi. Who's the other person?
Semitic warrior is, it's our friend Paul. Now,
hey guys.
All right. Well, before this, I'm sorry. I wanted to swing back around to Machine Lives just whenever. Go ahead, Jack.
please do. But we've also Machine Lies. I don't know where anyone else is at with anyone else, but I know that you've had issue. Toilet Bowl Earth, I'm gonna bring you up, but don't start any fights, please. Okay?
It's
No.
okay. It's okay. It's all right. Yeah, it's no worries.
Okay. Thank
Well,
you, bro.
this room just changed, so I'll just carry that conversation with TML another day. Seems
It's
like this is about to be a spectator
Well,
one.
no, I
to
don't
just,
believe so.
Okay,
I'd
well,
like to just go about with it right now. I mean, it's no problem.
okay, thank you.
You go
So
ahead. Cynthia. Yeah, what do you
I
got?
Yeah,
like
can you help Cynthia out? She's imagining disagreements again. That's a
No.
so
shame.
I like where you were going with it, TML, about the choices we're given and how we approach them. Today I was watching the story of Tara Davis Woodall. I don't know if y'all are familiar with her. She's a long jumper, and she was stripped of her title in 2023 for testing positive for cannabis, and she got a 1-month suspension. But she just now qualified again for the Olympics. But she was talking about now that she had lost that privilege, she now showed up for the same practice on time. She now paid attention harder than she had ever paid attention before. She now put more into it because she lost it. She had the same coach, the same track times, the same everything. But because she lost it at one moment in time, she now understood the importance of I got to go harder in listening. I got to go harder in being present. And that's in essence what you're talking about, I believe, TML, is that how present are we going to be in the struggles?
I think so.
Mic drop.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Thank you.
This is the key in the practice. Freedom comes from being present. Sincerely. The freedom of our life, it truly starts in our mind. And the mind can become a prison very, very easily. The world profits from people being in their prisons. And so staying present, a clear mind, a clear conscience, it's priceless. It is how we are designed. It's how we're supposed to be. It's what Jesus was teaching. It's what the art of Zen, it's what many people before us were saying. Truth, true thought, true words, true deeds. That is the way. Because when we stay honest, we can stay present. When we stay humble and faithful, trusting, well, let me just go with the flow. And I'm pretty sure we brought this up earlier in this stream. Pretty sure life improves when we get out of our way. Because when we get out of our own individual way, that allows God and the greater goodness to take over.
I agree.
Took me a long time to accept that. I've got a real stubborn mind. I'm very logical. And holy cows, I was thinking this earlier. Faith. Faith includes some assumptions. So you've got to be able to make some assumptions and have faith in your ability to assume. You got to trust. Because this is where, sorry, I don't know if this random thought made sense, but I was looking at my face in the mirror earlier, having conversations with the dude responsible for this story I'm living. And, giving myself a pep talk, a little encouragement, but I want to make sure I'm not lying. Am I? Am I lying about my faith? Well, okay. Admittedly, there's some assumptions. Admittedly, there are some assumptions in my logic, in my reasoning. But that's what logic and reasoning is for. I have great faith, brothers and sisters, that we will be looking back on our time together in 2023 and early 2024. We're going to be looking back at our time together in the future. I wonder what we'll think. I suspect the world will be quite different in the future because I know my goals. I know the way a lot of other people think. And we are here. I don't know what God's got planned, but I have faith in God.
Indeed.
To kind of tie back to where Machine Lies was at. I have faith in God, but I have a drive within my purpose. I mean, I have these ideas I have come from my experience, my education. They were created by greater power than me.
Jack.
Yes.
Do you think some have hard time letting go and realizing they're not in control? Do you think that is, I know for myself personally, that was a scary one for me to let go of. I'm not in control. Stop showing me I'm not in control, please. You know what I mean? So I always wonder, is that where one of the obstacles come in for those who are going through their spiritual warfare, no matter what that looks like to them?
I'm sure, yes. I'm sure we all have to go through our own trials and tests because it's built within us. We have within us a spirit of defiance where, just like a toddler or a kid, we want to do everything on our own. God's like, all right, fine. You be a dumb kid. I'll take care of you either way, but sure, do it on your own. Sorry, I got off track there, didn't I? Please remind me what you were saying, Cynthia. I'm sorry.
Sorry, it got dark and I had to go turn on some lights. I was talking about letting go of control. That's the hardest thing sometimes, is letting go and realizing you're not in control. I'm in control. I've made these plans. I'm going to be here by time. This is going to be happening. I'm going to have this much saved. I'm going to have acquired this much. But in reality, we're never in control. Car accidents happen, illnesses happen, job losses happen, financial, relationships, passings. So many things happen. So we have to realize, okay, I'm not in control. How can you best use me to complete your purpose? And that's a scary thing to let go. It's a scary thing to let go.
It is scary.
What up, Flo?
What up, yo?
Yeah, welcome. It is. I've had enough examples in my life that showed me, well, I am not responsible for the results that emerge, right? Mm-hmm. I'm only partially responsible. I'm responsible for my effort, my intentions, my actions. But yeah, I realized I am not in control. Now, I still accept responsibility. I believe I control me. And that's all I try to control anymore. I even try to avoid saying, you should do this or you have to do this. You need to. I try not to even do that. And then I got clowns like this, man. Jack is a letting go. Wait, what? Jack is a letting go of control freak. You know what? You're right. You're not a clown. You're spot on, man. I am a letting go of control freak. This life. Oh, this is a topic. Life is unfair. You know what? Fucking accept it. Life is not fair.
Fuck
Sometimes things happen and it's just unjust and it's not right. So what? Get over it. You know, that's what I've been learning for myself. Because what's the point of being upset? There's no point in getting mad. Okay, so life's not fair from your perspective. So what? Consider the perspective of someone else. Consider the life of someone else. Other people have it worse off than me. That's for damn sure.
Anger is the gift you give to yourself for somebody else's problem.
Correct. What were you saying, Flo?
Oh, that I was just pointing out that you're talking to Toilet Bowl Earth with that, weren't you?
Just in generics, just generically for everyone.
Yo, who was that? That was fucking. Oh my gosh, that was dope. Whoever said
I
that.
got you. Unless it was Moose. Then Moose got you.
Actually, he's been awful quiet. Toilet Bowl Earth, welcome, brother. How are you today?
I'm well, Jack. I'm just listening in.
Fabulous. Any thoughts? I mentioned you a little bit, but not much.
What, from last night?
Today, I mentioned you a little bit.
Oh, okay. What were you saying about me, Jack?
Oh, how you were to blame and nothing was my fault. That's pretty much what I was saying.
That's fucked up, man.
Don't take it personal. Jack does it with all of us.
Right?
It's a fun game we play.
Yes, Paul knows it.
Yeah, I guess this is my first time being blamed for it.
No, life is happening.
I don't feel like any one of us individually ever really fully bonds with Jack until he blames us for all of his problems. It's like, it's the going to the next level with him. It's like third base. Like if the post office, his wife and child are going to do it, I want to do it too because I really love Jack and he loves me. So why shouldn't we all go through the same thing together?
Absolutely.
Praise God.
I don't mean, yeah, well, we are all one. So an injury to one is an injury to all. And I do stand by that. I don't like standing by and seeing people suffer. I really don't.
Is a victory for one a victory for all?
I believe so. I believe it can be. I believe it can be. Not necessarily, but it certainly can be. That's how I want the future, at least. Can you imagine a future like that where the news isn't just this war and gloom and doom and just fear porn, where the news is like presenting, hey guys, we solved this problem over here in this world and now we're adapting the ideas over here, or hey, we avoided this potential disaster, this miracle occurred. Imagine if there was good news being shared, being rewarded, right? If that's where the profits went to those who are really doing good things.
Profits go to where people find the most value, and people want fear porn.
Well, okay. You're right. This is where the power of propaganda. It's such a fascinating story. The evolution between the printing press to where we are today, and the evolution of propaganda, the state control of the media.
Is that how old you are, Jack? Old to the printing press?
I'm not that old, dude. No, but history, it's not that far back in history, really. And that's really where, the advancement of as history as we understand it, that's where we really started developing. And it makes sense, too. You improve the method and the technology for communication, so that the written word is more easily produced and shared. And now look where we are. We've got access to knowledge. think about this. There's all these archaeological finds being discovered, right? Old documents. And then so once the documents are discovered, then you still go through the process of finding someone who wants to translate it. But there's all this knowledge that's been lost, and it's waiting to be rediscovered. What made me think of that is the technology online. You can access some of the scholarly translations of historical documents, and you know, a lot of this stuff is pretty recent time. It's available. Were you gonna pop in?
No, Arpol just called me a bitch from the chat, so I cammed up.
Oh, Flo.
I know, that was pretty rude, wasn't it?
Well, you're offering attention. You're paying attention, man. Respect. And there's no requirement for people to camp.
Well, cam or not, you're always going to be a bitch, Flo. So it doesn't matter.
That's true.
Oh, Political Earth woke up. Wait, everybody is sleepy today. Last 2 days have been enough, I think.
The drama's worn people out. They're kind of in that post chaotic.
No, you go.
Right.
No, you go.
Gay love requires stamina.
God.
Hi-oh.
All right, well, I'm gonna go.
That's you.
I'm not really, but that did seem like a good exit point. Ooh, no
Right.
pun. No pun intended. Jesus.
Hey, clarity of purpose and intention. For me, I have these memories, sincerely, of having such a confused and clouded mind. And for me, where I sit today, it's really hard to remember what it was like, but I know that there's a lot of other people who are showing the same symptoms that I used to suffer.
Yeah, bro. Same. And so just a little bit more stillness and inward, and those blockages go away, and you'll start to see that. Some of that's because we're not meant to be able to look at some things till some other things are out of the way. It's all still there. It's never been taken from you, Jack. It's still in there. But it comes back at a time when it's best suited for us to reflect upon it, if that makes sense.
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Memories that we can't remember. You're bringing up, trying to remember certain things of the past, right? That you can't, that are foggy, right?
No, I don't want to remember. It'd be kind of a pointless exercise for me to spend time back in that misery.
Sometimes looking back at a certain point in time, looking back at the misery ends up getting requalified, and it doesn't actually appear as such anymore. It depends on, at least that's how it's been for me, bro. But anyways, much love, everybody. I got to bounce.
Bye.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, no, what I was trying to refer to is the misery. I know I lived the life of an alcoholic. I know I used to be angry all the time, and I hated life. I know those memories are there. I don't really have any desire to go back and waste time in those anymore. This is what I learned. I learned how to direct my mind sincerely. It's as simple as that, brothers and sisters. That is what all the hoopla is from the mystics and the yogis. Learn to control your mind.
I agree.
It's easier than we think, and it's actually taught by Jesus. Honestly, love is the answer. Because when we can accept, right? If we love and we accept then we're not worried about division or control or, barriers. We just accept. And with acceptance is gratitude. And if we just love and be grateful and have faith that the Creator is going to work everything out, one way or another, whether we're here or not, the world is going to work itself out, right? That's what I realized a long time ago. So what am I sweating about? Who cares? The world's fine. I'm fine until I'm not, until it's not. God controls.
That went back to when I had mentioned earlier that things happen for us and not to us. Yes. And it's truly, like you were saying, controlling your mind or changing your thoughts, and it's changing the way you look on things.
It's the absolute truth. What I learned a long time ago, that old saying, change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And I chose to change the way I saw myself. And that is the key too. I watched a beautiful video earlier today on forgiveness. See, these topics I talk about, I seek, I try to grow in what others are saying too. I watched a reminder on forgiveness and the practice that grows. It is such a gift. I'm not recalling, but I know there's a lot of ways to achieve forgiveness. I know that there's a lot of ways to find forgiveness. There it is. Find forgiveness within the self first. And then it's so easy. It's so easy to forgive others when you can have compassion for yourself.
I agree.
And I think it works the other way too, though. I can't remember which I did more first. I tried to be more compassionate to everybody, others and myself. And by making that choice, it gave me the chance to improve. And I'm still trying to improve. I'm still trying to be more compassionate and kind to myself and others.
It's always hard to forgive ourselves sometimes. And it can be like the littlest things that people don't even remember. We're like, well, what did I remember it for? So there did come a point where I had to realize, just like my sins will remember no more, I have to remember no more. And that means those that I've forgiven, including myself.
That's the key. And then you got to recognize really is there is only one self. We are all that. We are that which is. That which we know about is a part of us, and we are a part of everything. I encourage anyone to either help correct me or join me. The way of Jesus, the gospel. What were the disciples? What was the intention to share the gospel? What is the gospel? The good news. So what is the good news truly? The good news truly is God's grace. God's grace and God's love are there for us to choose, to seek, to know. It's true. It's real. So if more of us follow the way of Jesus, sharing the praise of God, showing love through our words, our deeds with others, I think that's how we show honor. By walking the walk.
Indeed.
I'm trying, but I really don't. I mean, we're not perfect. We've not been given the perfect life or perfect education or perfect knowing. It's not the same as what was, but each of us, if we just simply stay honest, stay authentic, and caring. I got distracted from that topic. Caring, the principle of care, the generative principle of care. It's our care that directs our time and our attention. Our time and our attention creates the growth in our life. So serious. Place the Christ, the mind of Christ, in the throne in your mind, and allow that pure intention to pay attention to the thoughts. We clean out the corruption within our minds, our insecurities, our fears, our doubts, our hates. When we move past that, that's where we can unite. And actually, uniting is what we are. All we've got to do is stop denying our connections. Speaking of, I'm hoping, praying, by the time I start the stream tomorrow, actually I may stream slightly late tomorrow, but I'm scheduled to at least have an introduction with one of the local city council guys tomorrow. So
nice.
See how that goes.
Excellent.
And that's actually the message. How that came to mind is that is the message that I want to share to the community leaders in my town. And I encourage anyone else, if you've got connections to community leaders in your town, share some encouragement. Promote the idea that this time, right here, right now, 2024, this is a year for transformation. It's time for something to change. And if we can create goals together of what a community might do, what we might be able to achieve together, that's what I want to talk to these officials about, is some visions and goals for the future. Hey, I know you're joking. I think you're joking. Melanie, Moran, blessings to you. Thank you for joining. Leg rubs for all. That reminds me. Would there be any interest or any ideas how I could easily show the massage, right? The massage. Do you think people would be interested in learning some self-massage techniques?
Well,
and then
yeah.
how would I do that effectively?
Do you record on your phone? How do you record your lives? On your computer, your phone, or what?
It's my laptop. I could just do the phone and tripod or something.
Yeah, you're not going to do the thing again like you have in the past where you feed into people's desires for wanting you to do something only so they can laugh at you and mock you and make fun of you, and then I get blamed for it. Because if that's what's going to happen, I'm calling it out ahead of time. So this way, if you go forward with it, I'll be able to join in the laughing and mocking, and I won't catch shit for it.
You could join me in the massage.
No, that's okay. I go for a tall blonde at this time, right? No offense, nothing personal.
No, you'd be touching yourself. Only yourself.
Mutual masturbation. Hey, above the waist, Jack. Above the waist.
He's tired of that. He wants someone else.
Hey, yo, pause.
Sit on your hand till it becomes numb.
Right.
Don't feel like somebody else rubbing you.
Right. I know.
I
know all the tricks.
Classic.
I know all the tricks. No, the idea is to bring more pleasure into the body. I am all about that.
Have you watched other videos on it and maybe get an idea of how they were doing it?
No.
Like I would just touch up how to give leg massages and just see what other things look like. That might give you some inspiration.
Sure. Absolutely. And I'm sure there may be others to be inspired by, but
there would be.
What I have learned and what I want to coach, encourage, whatever, is take control of your life every moment, every day. It's an opportunity to discover. And if you have fun with life, seriously, I have fallen in love with living because I've been learning how to have fun despite the circumstances, despite the challenges. And don't get me wrong, I'm not blowing off my obligations. I don't think.
No comment.
Well,
Jack, I want to point out a glaring hole here in the fact that the first hour or 2 hours of the broadcast was about saying we're not in control, and you just urged everyone to take control of their life.
Golly geez, you're
what
right.
the hell do we do with that? I know. That's the thing about you have to remember what you've said already today, at least like today or the last hour.
Okay, well, maybe I could have chose a different word. Responsibility. I mean, because that's really what it is. We have no control if we have no responsibility. We push those things away when we come up with our excuses and blame. And people think they're in control, but then they're blaming and they're filled with excuses. And I used to do that.
Like yesterday.
Not yesterday.
Oh, you mean like way
yesterday.
Back.
Would you be interested in talking about yesterday?
Absolutely. How Jack threw me off the panel, projected onto me and judged me, and then claimed I was judging the guy while he was defending him.
Listen,
totally open to talking about that.
I never thought the day would come. I was like damn near Team Paul. I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh, I'll get you there, Cynthia. I'll get you back. You were there once. You'll be back.
I stopped myself, Paul. I stopped myself. I got control. But it is interesting.
Dinner was ready, I suppose. Oh, come on, that's below the belt. That's I can do that, Cynthia. Please. And whenever I make fat jokes about you, I want you to take it as a bonding experience because I'm obese and grotesque.
Please, can we just build? Can we just be in the
absolutely? I'm sorry. Let me refocus. Enough of that.
So Jack here caught a lot of flack for it today because he referred to the conversation or the panel as interesting. And earlier in the chat, I'm not sure if you saw it or not, a lot of people were unhappy with him. But then Tarek came up and pointed out, that you had brought it up and you had mentioned you wouldn't mind engaging in alternative lifestyle behaviors with her, whether it be, I don't know how he put it, but did you get flack over there on your chat as well?
No, because it's hardly a similar dynamic. All right. Like I was talking about a woman who is not 17 years old at the time to begin with. She's 21 years old. Number two, the more glaring disparity is she's not my biological daughter.
Is he, is she his biological daughter or stepdaughter?
That is the understanding I have. That's the common understanding going around. So if we're mistaken on that, then that has to be corrected.
Okay. I had never seen them until before. And so the chat was already going a little bit crazy. And then you came up there and you put the pedal to the metal on the gas. And then so I'm still trying to catch up today.
Right. Because I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I know this is going to be shocking. A pervert and a deviant and a miscreant. And I have patterns of mischief and toxic behavior. So I know it when I see it. Okay. And I was just pointing out what I saw. And then everyone gets uncomfortable.
Was it from her, him, them, the panel?
I think it's a mix of everything. I think it's a to quote Mr. Talcott, I think that it's a lack of awareness and a extension of confusion on all sides. I think that there's a fair amount of ignorance, a fair amount of confusion, a fair amount of fear, and a fair amount of compulsion and impulse. And that's, as we know, a scary or deadly mix, right? So the only difference between me and people like them is I'm going to be authentic about my dysfunction. I'm going to try to bring the subconscious to the conscious and understand it and make something out of it while they continue to live a lie and project and move away from accountability for their liability. That's what I think makes the one self perspective so valuable is it's not actually projection when you authentically look into yourself and your subconscious and you start to question others about what it is they see when they look within and you start to get back the patterns, right? You start to see patterns and connections if we're being honest with ourselves and each other, right? And this work's already been laid down, you know.
One thing I want to caution, Paul, you've got a strong level of discernment and accuracy, but I'd encourage you to still be aware. It's better to be accurate than right. We want to be accurate, especially when we're coming to conclusions, especially the insulting ones, man. I mean, the world has taught us to be very critical, very insulting, and very, very quick. That's how you survive, how you stay strong. And I see your strength and your ability, brother.
That's relative, Jack. You know as well as I do that the world has different aspects of it, just like we have aspects of self. There are parts of the world where they encourage you to enable, doing less for yourself and others and say everybody's special, everybody's equal, everybody's this, that, and the third. So there are venues where we're forced to compete and rise above and stand out and deal with consequences. And then there are venues where we're enabled and allowed to continue to be weak and cowardly and then pretend like we're going to have access to the same co-creational abilities or results as other people who haven't lived that way. So it's a little bit of this and that. And I think we have to find what's working for us where we are at that time.
I agree. I agree with much. The reason I bring it up, though, is, well, I just know what I see. And I know that there's a lot of confusion around, particularly related to me. Paul, you've been a great part of my development and my growth the past year or so. And I would love to have you be part of the success, too.
Tarek is lying down there again, and you might want to encourage him to stop being bad faith and dishonorable and twisting words. I never spoke to Jennifer about her and I necessarily having sex together with the daughter. Okay? So if you could please just tighten up on that narrative. I'm not saying that that's not in me because I'm not a hypocrite like you pretending to be self-righteous. I'm just saying that's not the conversation and where the value and the import or the destiny, was focused on, so to speak. So I know that you're like obsessed with genitalia and what it's doing, and you're like really rigid and neurotic and fearful. So you start acting out and gossiping down there. Maybe you need to go beat your baby meat and go be with a man, come out of the closet, whatever you need to do to get right and stop projecting onto me.
There's a lot of assumptions and projection. There's a lot of people being misread around here. That's for sure. And Tarek, I'll offer you the same observation I offered to Paul. While you are very intuitive and maybe good at reading, it's better to caution, right? It's better. What
makes you think that Tarek is intuitive or good at reading? He showed exactly the opposite for an extended period of time.
In some ways, in other ways, he's shown
quality. Could you give an example?
Oh, I'm trying to think. I know I've seen him comment, seeing through people's bullshit, and I can't remember exactly who, but I know I've witnessed it before. Admittedly, Paul, I was really questioning his discernment when he was for that period, he was so up on you. It's like nothing you said could be wrong. He was, yes, boss. Yes,
but
boss.
Doesn't this now reveal another dynamic that you were questioning him when he was agreeing with me implicitly? Now that he disagrees with me implicitly, you're aligned with him. Does that maybe give him window into where you may be? Because you've done the same process.
I know that's the pattern that many people do. But
Cynthia has also done that same process, to be clear. Yeah. I mean, I'm not casting aspersions.
What are you throwing me under the bus for?
I'm not throwing anyone under the bus. I'm speaking about a dynamic I believe I've experienced. If you disagree, you're free to speak on it.
People have grown, Paul. That's what I'm seeing. And that's what I would offer in defense of Tarek, too, as I've seen.
And I have a different perspective. I think folks have shrunk and contracted and receded from the proper conversation and interactions. It's far from growing. I think you've convinced yourself you're growing, and actually there's been a devolution, if you will. There's been a detraction from a growth or a purpose or a meaning or a product, if you will.
Okay, so Paul, rather than pardon?
Consider the source of where this
Well,
Again, are we going to start manipulating Jack's inner state and his
No,
perspective, or are we
Hey,
going to speak for ourselves and let everybody stand on their own?
Hey, Paul, let's back up to what you were just saying, because rather than this back and forth of who's being described, I'm telling you, you are accurately describing yourself in which you are
Okay,
projecting.
so what do we do if we both have that perspective about ourselves and each other from the inverse mirroring perspective?
Let's go to the facts.
Let's go to the results. Yes, please do.
Okay, well, which results are we going to judge?
Haven't we done this before? I seem to remember this loop being done a few hundred or thousand times at this time.
And since you don't want to listen, since you're not willing to even consider the wrongness of you, it's been a loop. And until you're willing to actually look at yourself,
Where have I caused loss, injury, or harm, or not done my duty? Where have I been derelict in my duty? Where have I caused loss, injury, harm? Where do I owe a debt?
you have no loyalty to the truth. You're quite duplicitous.
Could you give me an example?
Specifically with me.
Could you give me a specific example?
Tell you what, I could pull up, I'm sure, yesterday's stream or 2 days ago.
I'm open to it. If you'd like to pull it up, I will explain myself.
I know. You've got this is the thing, Paul. You're a man of excuses. You've got an answer and an opinion.
I could say the same thing about you. Where do we go from there?
Well, let's figure out who is honest.
Right. Who has the results? Who doesn't?
Who is more humble to the truth? Who is more
absolutely myself? I live the truth and observe it. I left my home and my job to go live in a tent while you continue to live in a house you refuse to pay for. Who's more humble with humility?
Humble to the truth.
I'm a man who lives within my means, so much so I practice doing without in order to receive benefits and blessings.
Hey, Paul, either check your ego or leave the stream.
I wasn't aware that this was a toxified ego. I'm just speaking on what my experience is.
I'm telling you, your abrasiveness, your constant argumentative patterns, you're just so quick to blame and deflect, no willing to even.
Where did I blame anyone in those conversations and what I just said?
Did you hear the other part though, where he said your ego and like your approach? Do you think that you meet this resistance because of your approach, and if you changed your approach, you might get better results, or you get just?
I could ask the same thing for you.
But we're not talking about me right now.
I know we're never talking about you.
So don't deflect from it.
I've had enough, Paul. I've given up on you. You are set in your ways. You are absolute. That you've been perfect in your speech. Matter of fact, you want to be prosecuted. You are convinced that you've done nothing wrong, and you're not even willing to go back and consider it unless someone else goes through and proves it. Why? Because you are the opposer. You are the accuser. You are a master manipulator, a gaslighter, a deflector. I'm talking about you, Paul Unslaved. Okay? And for all those people who want to pick sides and, you want to compare he and I encourage you to compare honestly. Have I apologized, just randomly? Have I apologized to anyone on the panel? I think I have, but
yeah.
No.
Who said no?
I've not once seen Paul actually accept responsibility for saying, you know what, I was wrong. You got something to say, Paul?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that if you offer apologies without changed behavior, it's really nothing more than padded manipulation and deception.
So what's your point?
Do you offer that I should do the same thing you do? Offer apologies at whim, tell everyone I love them, then not change my behavior and wonder why we wind up in the same place over and over again?
What do you see? You're
Jack changes behavior towards me, and we haven't wound up in the same place over and over again.
You're in the same place in life with each other, and you still don't see that.
Who cares, Paul? Goodbye. I'm done. I'm done. Paul, if you ever want to grow up and have a conversation, you're welcome to. Okay. I don't see any point in this. Brielle, what do you? I know you're a huge fan of Paul. There you go. See. So since Daddy was chastised, then Brielle's got to offer her disappointment.
Oh.
is just fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating and juvenile.
Praise God. Like you're thankful. Hey, I'm thankful I don't have this anger, this chip on my shoulder that I walk around with, because it seems like it's heavy and I don't want to deal with it. It's sad. Like, he had great conversation. He had a good vibe today. There could have been progress. Whenever he tends to be challenged, it becomes something different. And it wasn't from us. It wasn't for me. I guess I can only speak for myself. It wasn't from me. It didn't appear to come from you guys. So it's within him. And I'm not in control of that.
Yeah. It's fascinating. I mean, here, this is what we're dealing with. Paul, if you don't see your pattern, if you don't see your part, you're fucking delusional, dude. And really, he presents this. He's never wrong. He's the god of all media. And I've watched. He's very good. He's very gifted. And he convinced himself and many others. Paul's the best. We're all the rest. Don't you get it? Don't you know? It's like, holy cows, man. I appreciate those who are here and willing to support. Butthole Winkler, you're not coming up. Okay. Thanks.
Shut up, butthole.
Like I said, it's an open-ish panel, and some people have worn out their welcome before they even show up. That's you, Butthole Winkler. See you, buddy.
Shout out to Butthole Winkler.
Facts.
That's my partner, them.
TBE, how's your day going today, bud?
Holy cows, man.
It's great. You know, it's just the typical stuff. I come on Jack's stream and TML is spurging about me as usual, comment after comment. So
Whoa.
It's just household stuff, you know. Choose love, brothers.
I appreciate the generosity. Thank you so much. I'm not competing with Flo's little drop down stuff, but
yours is way better, Jack. Yours is way better.
Little throwback to Talcott there in relation. Thank you for the contribution, the support, sincerely. Life is interesting. And hey, you know what? Let me set the record clear too. I do not like these interchanges. I don't really enjoy these interchanges with Paul. I actually respect Paul. I admire him for a lot of the things he's done and is doing. But at the same time, this is not healthy. And this is America. This is America, guys.
Indeed.
Well, what are our options from here?
I don't see an hour. I see two individuals who have their own risk tolerance, aversion to risk, fear tolerance, aversion to fear, communicative abilities or lack thereof. And that comes together to make a rather interesting and entertaining, but confusing interaction and dynamic for you, not for me.
Why is it just for me?
Because I seem to know why the way things are the way they are, regardless of what I wish to be true or want to be true or have worked toward happening with you and others. Things are the way they are for a reason. And I believe that I understand that reason. And no one has compelled me to believe otherwise with anything substantial.
There you go. You're right. So what could compel you? What would be substantial enough to compel you to reconsider that you don't know?
Results in your life that do not have the same narrative that you give to me and everyone else. You can't have the same patterns with everyone and blame everyone else and fail to look at how you've created those patterns with everyone you interact with. I don't have that experience.
That's a false conclusion. Okay.
It's the conclusion you've given us online.
No, that's the conclusion you have found. So again, I'm willing to offer you willing to offer you whatever I can to show
Why
you.
can't you just control your thoughts, emotions, and reactions to whatever it is that I do and say? Why can't you practice that?
See what I'm doing right here and now?
Okay.
Okay. I mean, this is what is happening. It's been happening in front of your eyes, Paul. I've been growing. Now, I'm not sure at what point you're going to be willing to reconsider, some of these convictions you found of me, because
I don't know. Well, you want me to answer that dishonestly and set you up for false expectations? It's the same question you would ask your the woman you were with and the mother of that child. I don't know at what point I'm going to deem you to be competent and credible and capable and then be able to bond with you deeper. I've had the exact opposite experience at this point. Would I like it to be different? Yes, that's why I'm here consistently.
Well, then here's where you get to realize, if you want it to be different, you can change. You can change the dynamic.
I know, but I don't believe that I'm the one who needs to change for this situation to get in harmony, right? For your life to get in harmony, for your results to get in harmony. I don't believe I'm the one that has to change like everyone else in your life to make your life better.
But what you should see is you've got an expectation of my life to be in harmony before you.
No, I don't. No, I don't. When you say I'm looking for anyone to question me and critique me and get me right, that's where you summon in the enslaved one's perspective. So don't say that if you don't really want it.
Hey, Paul, let's
just proselytize to the audience, get them to follow your way, pretend to be Jesus, and ignore what the fuck I'm saying, or don't offer criticism and critique to be open.
How about you chill out? We can join in this present right here, because you're just looping in your defenses and you're not actually.
I don't think you're even listening to what I'm saying and processing it. I think you've already got your mind made up and you're going to try to manipulate me or throw me out.
Is that me or you? Is that me or you who's got their mind made up?
I'm not attempting to manipulate you. I'm telling you what I see about you and with you, what my experience is of you, probably like your woman and child have that you failed to listen to.
I know.
Along with the post.
Your narratives are false, Paul. So all for you to receive the evidence that you need to change your mind, guess what? It's a simple act of shutting the fuck up. But you pretend to shut the fuck up. You play these games of silence, but all you're doing is the wheels are spinning, you're conspiring. And I played these games with you before, Paul. I'm seeing that today is not going to be the day of transformation, not for Paul. And since he's insistent that I'm the one who needs to change, all right. Anyone else? Thoughts? Anything?
No, you guys continue. Go ahead.
Well, just to be clear, my wheels don't spin. I actually find myself most of the time now thoughtless. And I'm sure that that's something people can run with. Paul's very thoughtless. He just says whatever, is on his heart or what he observes at the time. So my wheels are far from spinning. It's been part of a practice of mine to attain peace, to be thoughtless, because most of my life, my thoughts were my problem.
They still are.
Again, I don't perceive that I'm having thoughts. I'm listening, I'm observing, and I'm reporting what I'm seeing and experiencing. There's no thoughts necessary.
I want to point out just a sign for you to look for where you can find your thoughts. It's in your moving mouth. Every time your mouth is flowing, that's where your thoughts are being shown. Okay?
No, those are experiences. Those are not thoughts.
Yes. They are thoughts that you are acting on, that everyone is experiencing. You're taking your inner dialogue, not checking it, not scrutinizing it.
There's no inner dialogue.
Right. It just comes out.
You're projecting again. There's no inner dialogue.
Yeah, I know.
You're the one who, when people are speaking, you're thinking and waiting to speak and spinning your wheels to see how you can bullshit. That's not me.
Hey, Paul,
I don't do that.
The practice of mindlessness is not healthy. Okay, what you're doing is tuning things out, and you're I'm watching you. You're cherry picking information, selectively finding the information that fits your narrative, your conclusions. It's unhealthy. Now, I wish to God you would move past that pattern with me, because we could have some great conversations and we could get a lot of shit done. But until you're willing to see what you're doing, you're kind of wasting both of our time.
Can we get a translation of that? So the translation is that when you have a certain level of discernment and know yourself, you do pick out certain words and phrases and energies to draw a conclusion about the inner mapping of the being you're speaking with. So you're expecting me to go past my natural discernment, avoid all your red flags in order to work with you to get something done for you, which is pure narcissism. And that's why you have the issues you have in your family life and professional life.
False conclusion, false representation of my intentions. You know, you're so disrespectful, so ungrateful. You're just so miserable, dude.
I'm not miserable at all in my life.
You don't see bullshit.
You're the one cursing and angry and throwing me out. I'm not doing any of that right now.
No, you're acting like a child, like a little 8-year-old stubborn boy.
Well, because I won't let you control me and be authoritarian, and I'm questioning your false authority. Yes, I'm acting just like a child. You must become like a child to get in the kingdom of heaven, the Christed being would tell you.
Well, to be in the kingdom of heaven, one must be honorable to the truth, and you're not.
I'm willing to be. You can perceive that I'm not, but I'm absolutely willing in my heart to be, and that is my perspective.
How do I get you to prove that?
Maybe you have a false perspective. Is it possible you're the one lacking discernment here? Is that possible?
If we talked facts instead of your fucking opinions,
let's go back to facts. Can I go down the list without being thrown out from your triggering? That proves the facts of what I'm saying. You're triggering to it.
Paul, first of all, let's figure out what are we trying to prove?
We're trying to establish competence, capability, discernment, and ability to co-create with beneficial results for self and others' extension off of self.
Okay, why do you want to start with such a complicated?
That's how you, in any venue, prove someone's competence, capability, and level of discernment is the results they have in their career, in their family, and in themselves.
Look at you. Would you chill the fuck out?
Why do you keep projecting onto me that I'm the one upset and that I'm lack of control here? I'm completely controlled and directed and measured.
No, you don't shut up and yield. You don't allow conversations. It's like as soon as something's said, you're just rah, 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 rah. No, my way, my rules. You got to do it this way. Paul, I've had enough, dude. Sincerely, with respect.
Quitting again, running again, like you do in every area of your life. What else is new?
Go describe it how you want. I'm sick of him. I'm sick of this. I'm ready to take a break for today.
Okay.
Simple as that. Paul's wore me out. He's taking the fun out of this stream again for me. So, and I can't blame him. I made the choice to allow his stupid ass to show up. But guys, anyone else but me think there's a way to reason?
Do you believe that he talks to you to truly help you or to feel better about himself?
Feel better about himself. He's selfish.
Okay. If his approach to talking to you doesn't help you, why does he continuously do it the same way? Is he incapable of changing? I was watching a show last night, The Secrets of Polygamy, and they were talking about one of the groups, and the leader, they were kind of identifying Paul's traits, Paul's qualities, his mindsets. They thought, and the guy talked about, well, this is he talked about the gentleman's mental illness, and I actually had the thought last night: is Paul truly mentally ill? And are we trying to correct something that's just not capable?
Well, Cynthia, yes. He without disrespect.
And I'm not saying it in a disrespectful way. I'm not saying it to be malicious. I'm actually asking. Yeah.
Cynthia,
that mindset of everybody's out to get you at any moment. If you're not prepared, you're not going to be a survivor. I'm the chosen one. I'm the great one. You can never be like me. And it's a truly mindset. And I'm starting to question at this point, are we dealing with something that's incapable of changing?
Well, Cynthia, I believe with God, all things are possible. And I agree with what you're saying. It is insanity. It is delusions. It's also biblical. It's also spiritual. It's many different things rolled into one. And I believe God has blessed me with an ability to understand it. And this is why I believe that, well, and insanity can be cured. Delusions, these mental disorders that have become normal, right? The patterns we're seeing in Paul, it's because it's enabled. People around encourage and promote that behavior. It's the way of the world. I refuse to accept that people cannot change. I trust that with the right incentive, the right opportunity, and the right resources, anyone can learn, anyone can accomplish anything.
Do you have good intentions when it comes to when you're letting Paul up on the panel? Do you have good and clear intentions? Do you feel that he has the same for you?
No, I'm confident. Well, I believe in his heart, he has in his mind, he has good intentions, but his heart, there's a disconnect between his mind and heart. He cares, but he's confused. He thinks his way, he thinks I need to consent and concede to his ways for me. And what he's missing out, if he would just chill the fuck out and accept me for who I am, how I am, that's the only thing I'm asking him to do is to accept me for how I am. He and I could do some incredible things together. I have been willing for a long time.
You mentioned when you were speaking to him that if y'all could get past this hump, that you would have great conversations. Do you think that these conversations would be healing ones, good ones, like for beneficial to many, to few, to all? What do you envision when you envision y'all on the same page?
Well, my goal for success is to truly help others. And I believe if Paul and I work together, number one, he would experience I think he could experience an incredible transformation just simply by accepting some cold, hard truths from someone who cares. And I think Paul cares about me. I think that's why he and I have crossed paths. I know I have learned. Through his patterns of nonsense, I have grown. I've strengthened myself. I don't get triggered as often as I used to.
I agree.
If Paul and I could work together, I've said this before, I believe I have a path to speak with the servants of public government, right? And I have the intentions to speak with citizens in government.
Okay.
I want to confront the things Paul likes to complain about. But Paul's not alone. I want to confront the things that many people want to complain about.
All right. Well, I mean, it's definitely been a watch for a while now of watching the dynamic of you two.
That was so rich what you guys just did there. You just revealed yourselves again. You said Paul has to change who and what he is, and why won't he just accept who and what we are the way we are? I love that.
Right. Well, Paul, yes, look at it. You are the problem between us, Paul. Simple as that. And I'm not going to argue. You are the problem between us, Paul. Hey, I am feeling like it's time to wrap up, though.
See what you did, Scott? See what you did?
No, that's right. Scott did just show up. But I am feeling complete. And we're coming up over 2.5 hours already.
Alrighty. Well, I think it went good. I think it was this was a bumpy roller coaster. It started off well. It got bumpy, came back balanced. It got bumpy again, balanced, bumpy, balanced. And isn't this the way that life goes? We just have to learn how to recover and adjust quickly. Thank you guys. I enjoyed the conversation. Thank you, TML, Scott, TBE, Jack. Always appreciate you. Talk to you later.
Blessings. Thank you, Cynthia. God bless. TBE, Scott, TML.
Jack, I'll say a goodbye as I say hello. You know, kind of an in-out kind of burger thing.
Appreciate it.
You know, things are not your fault when other people make them happen. Just because it assumes, you know, that it's in your realm or that you should have some say or some way to control everything, you're not. You're trying to control what you can, and you've been doing a great job. So I want to give you kudos. I want to say, you know, things are better than they seem, in my opinion. So have a good night.
Appreciate that. Respect
Peace.
to you. Thank you. TBE, are you there?
Machine life skill. Ladies first. Ladies first.
Either way, I don't care.
I'll let Toilet Bowl Earth go first because I'm gonna read something for the audience.
Yeah. You're gonna do a trailer for your fucking stream. We all know.
If that's your opinion,
go
that's
ahead,
fine.
buddy.
Well, here, TBE, please. I'm gonna allow Machine Lies to do his. He can offer his reading that he found for the audience, and he can promote his show.
I mean, that's all he's here for. I mean, let's be honest.
Well, there's more than that.
And what are you here for? Just to talk about me? Because that's all you've done.
That's not all he's done. That's not all he's done. Please. I know you guys have your past. Tell you what. I'm going to do this. I don't appreciate being put in this position, but please feel free to offer your reading.
I don't have to offer any reading if that's not what's required here. You know, it was just relating to the thing I said about the war horses fertilizing the fields. I thought that was something that you appreciated or something that you found value in. I wanted to expand on kind of the source I found for that, if you will.
Please do.
Okay,
I appreciate
thank you.
it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you. No worries. No worries. Yeah, because, you know, I just came here. You know, this guy's making comments on me. I just wanted to do a reading about what we were talking about earlier about the topic. So, you know, I know a lot of people have opinions about me. That's fine. And they've demonstrated how they feel. But yeah, on chapter 46, you know, and this is the Philip J. Ivanhoe translation, you know, of the Tao Te Ching. So if anybody gets up in, because there's so many different translations of it, you know, so it's good to say the source, because if you look up a different source, it'll say something different, and then you'll blame me for it, you know. But yeah, chapter 46. When the world has the way, fleet-footed horses are used to haul dung. When the world is without the way, war horses are raised in the suburbs. The great misfortune is not to know contentment. The worst calamity is the desire to acquire, and so those who know the contentment of contentment are always content. Without going out the door, one can know the whole world. Without looking out the window, one can see the way of heaven. The further one goes, the less one knows. This is why sages know without going abroad, name without having to see, perfect through non-action. In the pursuit of learning, one does more each day. In the pursuit of the way, one does less each day. You know, I heard in another translation it says, in the path of knowledge, one gains by daily increment, but in the path of the Tao, one gains by relinquishing, by daily loss. You know, so it's beautiful, because as you know, as Paul Enslaved was saying, you go back to the state of the newborn child to enter the kingdom of God. You know, it's like going to the state of the uncarved block. You know, and even or I think he said you got to be as a newborn babe to enter the kingdom of God, or or something like that. He was saying, so yeah, we can all kind of learn from each other. But yeah, one does less and less until one does nothing. One does nothing, yet nothing is left undone. So, it's through stillness that we engage all things, to engage all things while doing nothing. That's the, the path of the Tao. It's a path of higher virtue. But yeah, bless you guys. We'll talk more about virtue soon. And you guys don't have to watch my show if you don't want to. I'm not trying to promote anything. I'm just trying to promote discussions on what I think is appropriate here. Bless you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Brothers and sisters, thank you. Thank you, TML, for that reading, for the wisdom, sharing the perspectives. Find it interesting. Yeah, quote the wisdom and credit Paul for being accurate. When Paul talks the Tao, he says the right words, but clearly contradicts everything the Tao speaks about. Not everything, much of what the Tao speaks about. He contradicts it. And I don't know. Brothers and sisters, the topic today, clarity of purpose and intention, growing in peace. It's true. The workhorses serve a different purpose in a time of war versus a time of peace. And brothers and sisters, we are living each day. We choose. How do you want to live? How do you want to feel? How do you want to be directed? Do you want the world to direct you? You want to follow around with just traditions and reactions, repeating old patterns and habits of the world? That's how I used to live. I encourage you, brothers and sisters, change your ways. Choose to become conscious. Choose to become intentional. Living with intent. Living with purpose. Only you can choose to do that. Only you choose how you live. And this kind of goes into something TML was bringing up earlier too with, what was the word? Not authenticity, but I don't know, where you put everything into it. Anyway, brothers and sisters, we talked about a lot. There was a lot of topics covered, a lot of relationships being worked and developed continually. That is what life is. Brothers and sisters, we are all children of God, children of the Most High. And I encourage you, for the path I found for me, I wish to share with you. And the path that I found for me is the way of peace, the way of love. That which was spoken of by Yeshua, by Jesus, recorded in the Bible, talked about by many. The way of love, love without condition, love filled with mercy, filled with forgiveness, filled with purpose, filled with clarity. And I'm telling you, if you go through your day with the purpose and mindset of being present, being purposeful, intentional, watching what you're doing, you're going to reduce the number of misunderstandings. You're going to reduce the number of mistakes. We waste less time. Yeah, we waste less time when we pay attention and we do things the right way the first time, when we're intentional, purposeful, present. I don't know. Brothers and sisters, life is fun. It's a beautiful game. Thank you again for joining, sincerely. I appreciate all who are joining, and, tune in next time. We'll see what happens next on this Talcottian adventure, where the purpose is for you to discover you, and together we will discover a greater world together. Peace for everyone. Choose love and live without fear. Thank you again, and God bless us all.